Another deployment we went on. I was in 115. It was shortly after we got the F-18 Hornet. We had to do a Mediterranean round robin. We were gone about 3 months. Had to hit Spain, Denmark. Few of us, select few, went to Turkey, and then we went back to Spain and came back to Beaufort. Well, the first stop in our Med thing was Denmark, and it was the middle of winter there, and we left Beaufort. First flight to Canada was uneventful. We were on a C-141 with all of our gear, and remember about the name calling? Well, we had our 5 guys that always went on deployments, and we had names for people, especially these 2, Kiddos and Bits, S1 and S3. S1 was Kiddos, and Bits was S3. S3 is your security, top secret garbage. Anyways, we left Canada. We had a female pilot, and it was rough. Bits was sitting directly across from me. We had like 4 women in the squadron. And it was a rough flight. That Bit started getting sick. Sergeant Major was on the other side of the thing because they had us asshole to elbow up front end of the airplane, right behind the controls. There was a Air Force sergeant up on a little pedestal that could watch all of us. Well, Bits was sick. He had his head down between my legs. There was Staff Sergeant Moss. She was sitting down about 4 people from me. Then there was a couple girls sitting across from her, non-coms, corporal and a sergeant, whatever. They were maintenance. And they knew me, like Moss did. Well, anyways, Bits was sick. He had a bellyache. And he had dry heaves. And his head is between my legs. And I'm picking at him. Hey, Bits, come on, cough it up, boy. Let me bring up my Peter. You can move forward a little bit. Give me some happy thoughts. And Moss is going berserk over there. She's letting me know that I'm defiled, that I'm sick. Well, we attempted to land. And that landing was, let's just say it was aborted, had to fly around again. Well, after we took off the second time, I told Bits, I whispered in his ear that he was doing it wrong. And I started pretending to dry heave. And I told him, well, this is how you do it. And I started, which apparently erupted his stomach. He started puking. Well, I grabbed his hat and shoved it underneath his mouth, and he started filling up his hat with all of his stuff from his stomach. But then the smell hit. You talk about the most putrid smell. Well, it started an avalanche of people throwing up. the Air Force sergeant seen what was going on, started handing out trash bags like it was doomsday. Sergeant Major smelled it. He stood up. He looked over directly at me. And Gene, you're in trouble. I'm laughing. I am just hysterical. Terry sitting next to me. He's also laughing. And, well, the plane, third time's the charm. It finally came in and stopped. And we proceeded to walk off the airplane. And Sergeant Major came up to me and told me I should go back on the airplane and help with the cleaning up. No, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go there. About that time, Kiddos and Bits are walking in front of us. Bits falls and bounces. I mean, boop, boop, right back to his feet. And I looked at the Sergeant Major and nudged him, and I went, "Did you just see that?" Bits takes a licking and keeps right on a ticking. Well, we make it to the bivouac area. Now this was funny. The MAG 31 advance party from MAG went over and set up tents. And then the warm weather hit. Now you gotta remember, there's snow and ice and all this other crap. Well, they use short tent pegs. And when the ice thawed, all the tents collapsed and got saturated with water. Well, they hoisted all the tents back up again. This time put in the longer tent pegs. And then that evening, cold weather. Everything froze. So here we are. There's a hill going around. They made a tennis court that they put the tents in. And the tennis court was grass. It was dirt. Dirt tennis court. Apparently the Denmarkians play tennis on dirt. But we were told it was a tennis area that converted into our bivouac area. Well, when the plane landed and we got off and we were getting our gear and our sea bags and throwing them over our shoulders and going to the bivouac area, the advance party lit all the burners in all the tents. So by the time we got there, the tents had started raining inside the tent, which water saturated all the cots and your water on the floor. We're living in about 3 inches of water. I mean, it just made for a greatest adventure in the world. Well, we got in our tents and we got things set up. Naturally, it was late afternoon and 12-hour shifts, so it was decided that night shift just go to work. So I went into work, got off the next morning about 8 o'clock. Now there was one building that you went in. I think it was a gymnasium, because the top floor had all the workout equipment and the showers were down below. Well, that second morning, Terry and I and Chuck went to take our shower. So we walked in the building and we met the Base Sergeant Major. Base Sergeant Major was going in to go upstairs and work out. Well, we were going, after a 12-hour shift, we were going down, take a shower and go back and go to sleep. Well, the Base Sergeant Major made it upstairs in time to see one of his senior enlisted guys having sex with this private that was brought over from the mess hall, for the mess hall. So we found out later, the day we left, we seen the sergeant major and asked him how long he watched before he put a stop to the fun that was going on. Before he sent the 2 people back to Buford for action against their actions, put it that way. Keep it nice and clean. Well, anyways, during that deployment, went into work one night. It snowed that day. I mean, you talk of snow that was, I mean, just saturated at about 6-8 inches. So I got to debrief, except for aircraft number 12. Cricket, that's the gunny that worked day shift, he had no idea where that airplane was. So during the maintenance meeting, I got to talk, because I got to let everybody know what's going on with all the airplanes, who's working on what, and what we need for the flight schedule for the next morning. I got to airplane number 12, and I looked at QA. I told QA, I went, well, let's do a missing 2 report on that airplane, because it's missing, because day shift has no idea where it is. So QA, find the airplane, and let's do a missing 2 report that we lost the whole airplane. I think Major Daniels will get a kick out of it tomorrow morning. So QA went and found the airplane. What happened was it came back from flight, and flight line, because of the condition of the airplane, automatically put it into a revetment and shut the doors. And then it snowed. And flight line neglected to tell maintenance control that they moved the airplane. So maintenance control is thinking the airplane is still outside when it's actually inside a revetment waiting to be worked on. But they weren't told where the airplane was. So missing airplane, missing 2 report. But QA found it, and we got the airplane up, but the missing 2 report was filled out, and I recall Major Daniels coming in the morning, and he always had a cup of coffee with us. I guess that menopause thing back in Buford just, I think it made his day, because he'd come in and have coffee with the guys, and we'd talk, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and then he'd go in about his business. Well, after our coffee break, I'm in maintenance control. Major Daniels comes out with that piece of paper, and he goes, I'm going to frame this. I am going to frame this. Gene, you made my day. Thank you. No problem, Major. Have fun with it. Well, shortly thereafter, day shift came in, and Major Daniels showed Gunner Seaver the missing 2 report. Gunner Seaver gave me a dirty look of hell. Apparently he didn't see the sense of humor behind it. But anyways, the way the tents were set up, day shift, night shift, well, good old Bits decided to sleep with us. That way he could have the tent all to himself at night. Well, the day we came to pack, we had to be at the terminal at, I think it was like 6 o'clock at night, because they were taking off right after sunset. So we actually could sleep during the day. But with Bits came in at 8 o'clock when he got off work, turned the light on. Now there's 10 of us in there, we're trying to sleep, and he turns the light on, and I tell you what, it torqued us. Well, we ended up packing up and headed down to the terminal because we were on our way back to Buford. We'd already done the turkey thing, and I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. But at the terminal, because of the cold weather, they had us inside a revetment. And these revetments, because of the proximity of the air base to Russia, there was emergency tunnels and all this other crap inside mountains, and this revetment was inside of a mountain, and it had big steel doors, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and 4 across the back. And one of the guys from Metal Shop came up to me and told me that Bitts was sleeping. Really? Where? Well, his head was about 8 inches away from this steel door. Oh, this is going to be great. Wish I had a steel bar. Well, the Metal Shop guy said, well, I can help you there. So he went and got me the steel bar. I went to the back, crawled into the thing, and I counted 2. Okay, he's in the middle one, so. Well, I went to the middle one in the tunnel on the outside of the thing. Took that steel bar. And I started banging on that steel door. I hit that thing probably 5 or 6 times. Then came back out. And inside where everybody else was located at. Well, what happened was Bitts, when I hit it the second time, scared the shit out of him. He jumped up and started running and ran right into the steel doors and knocked himself out. Well, I'm standing out there. Kiddos has the nerve to come up and accuse me of banging on that steel door. I looked at him and I went, excuse me? Bitch kept us up all day. I'm sleeping and some asshole goes in there and bangs on the door and wakes me up again. When you find him, you let him know that I'm looking for him because I want to kick his ass. Well, kiddos thought I was telling him the truth. But I'm the one that did that. Anyway, now a little bit going through that deployment. The Marine Corps, I'm talking grunts, were part of this Denmark thing. Every morning at 3:30, a grunt would run around the outside in between the tents belonging to his group and wake up everybody with, "Get up, Marines! Get your motherfucking asses out of bed!" You know, all this profanity. You gotta remember, I was Antichrist during this time. Well, it was a select few of us. Had to be non-Arab, non-skinhead, had to be pure pledge American, had to be top secret clearance in order to go to Turkey. So there was about 30 of us in a multi-squadron type thing. We took 3 airplanes and went to Turkey. It was a political nonsense deployment. We were there about a week, and I went as materiel for all 3 squadrons. So anyhow, we're there. We're living in tents, you know, officers and enlisted living in tents. Well, I kind of missed the Marine Corps. I kind of missed the grunts. So the first morning, 3:30, I'm running around the tents outside. screaming bloody murder, get your motherfucking asses up and all this shit. Well, I don't recall the two officers, but the one was the group CO. And the other one was a QA officer, and I can't recall his name, but he was 115's QA officer. And I found out later he recognized my voice. But the group CO wanted to know who that son of a bitch was. And he took himself off the flight schedule, because he's going to talk to every Marine until he finds the guy that did that. So anyhow, I'm working material. I'm out in the hangar deck because the office was too small for me to be in maintenance control, but I had to keep going back and forth, keep updated on supply needs. But my office was right outside the door. Well, the captain, when the group skipper walked into maintenance control, the captain looked at me and went, "Gene, he's going to get you. And I hope to pray he fries your ass." And I went, "Good luck in that, Captain." Well, the group skipper spent about 10 minutes inside maintenance control talking to everybody, because he knows that voice. Well, he came out and he looked at me and he goes, "Gunny, how you doing?" I'm okay. Still suffering from that cold I picked up in Denmark. Oh, gee, sorry to hear about your sore throat. Have you been to sick bay? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got medicine here. It's just, he told me it's going to be like 3 or 4 days before it goes through my system. Well, I wish you all the best in the world. You by chance don't know who that son of a bitch was this morning, do you? No, sir, but he woke me up too. I'd like to find out who he is. Flag and disc him when you do find him, will you, Skipper? Oh, you can bet on it. I'd recognize that voice anywhere. Well, he walked off. Captain looked at me. "You son of a bitch." Walked away. We get back to Buford, and things quieted down. The group skipper came over, and I'm in maintenance control. The group skipper looked at me and goes, "Gunny." "Yes, sir." "You were that man, weren't you?" "Sir?" "You were that man that woke me up that morning, weren't you?" "Yes, sir. Not tell a lie, it was me." "That was a pretty good act you did over there. You totally convinced me that you had a sore throat. Gotta congratulate you on that one, Gunny." "Yeah. Captain was right. You are a son of a bitch." Thank you, Skipper. Getting back to that turkey thing, though. We were limited to the confines of the tent area and work area, which was right next to the tent area. We were not allowed outside because of the skinheads, the Arabs, and the hatred towards Americans. But my counterpart, this Turkish master sergeant, him and I got talking. He could speak English, and we just got talking. And he invited me to his house, and got the clearances and everything, and the Major Daniels came up to me one day. I think this is about we were there 2 weeks, and we were there, this was about day 10, I think. I know it was just a couple of days before we left that I took off. But Major Daniels comes up to me and tells me that the counterpart likes me and is going to take me to his house, and I'm the only one that's permitted outside the grounds. And I looked at Major Daniels and I went, hey, sounds like fun to me. Well, anyways, that day the Master Sergeant came over and we talked, and he put me in some civilian clothes that he brought with him, and we went to his house. The most beautiful house I ever saw. I mean, it had a staircase inside made out of wood that just shined. Had a meal that fit for a king. Met his wife, his 3 kids. They all spoke English. Not perfect English, but I understood them. They understood me. And we had a good time for about 4 hours. I seen where the kids went to school. I seen where they went to church. And it was fun. And then they took me back to the base. I had to give back the clothes that he put on me. So, whether or not the higher echelon found out that the Americans broke the rules or not, I have no idea. Could care less. All I know is that it's little things like that that makes, to me, life worth living. Because if I didn't impress that guy, he wouldn't have done that. If I wasn't acting me, being me, by waking up everybody at 3:30 in the morning, Skipper wouldn't have had a good time over there. It would have been boring as hell. So you gotta put it the way it is, life. And I tell you what, Denmark and in Turkey, I'll remember my fun there forever. Especially the flight with good old bits. Anyway, that was just another thing in my archives of stories. So, have a good day, and God bless.